Welcome back to another day of living in a new house. It's a weekend, so it's time to get on with some stuff. Things to update you on this morning. First of all, I've refixed down the floorboards here after the water leak. So things are now repaired. Ready for us to walk across. In the subject of water leaks though, somehow I left my windows open on my car this morning, last night. Don't know when, don't know how. We may have got some rain in the car, which is going to be entertaining. But yeah, name of the game today is actually we're going to be trying to patch up some of the holes in the plasterboard we've got. There's bits in the roof in this room, on the wall here. There's loads of bits downstairs. So I think the aim of the game is just to try and patch up what we can patch up with what we've got while it's a little bit dry outside to get some plasterboard down. And then probably, I'm guessing it's probably going to be starting on that front room 3 and trying to get that ready to plaster, I guess. It's probably the next port of call. I'm still on on that one, so we'll think about it during the course of the day, and then we'll see whether this is the one we're going to go for first and break out the old plastering skills and see how terrible they are. But anyway, let's get on with some stuff. Elizabeth's just had her first introduction to Ryan Can't Find Anything game. We spent ages digging around in the back of the garage trying to find out where the steamer was, because she's going to steam the hallway as our first bit of proper DIY in the house. We spent ages and ages looking for it, and it's sitting right there. Good job, Ryan! We've also done with moving some carpet around. I've decided that we're not keeping the carpet now, so I've just launched a load of it in the back of the car and we're just going to get rid of it, because at the moment I just keep having to move it around and move it around and move it around. It's adding loads of time to what would otherwise be a 10-minute job rather than a half-hour job. But we've now bought a few sheets of plasterboards in, so we bought a strip for fixing that side in the bathroom, just a couple of blocks that I might be able to patch hole while it's raining. Because I put the non-aqueous, there's just a standard plasterboard, basically I put that on the bottom of the stack stupidly, and I kind of need to do that, well, because of the change in operations, I could do with that now for patching holes, because I can't actually board the rest of the room yet, so I'm kind of on stop. So, but we might use some of the offcuts of the soundproofing one just to get rid of that. I've also brought in one of the aqueous boards with the idea that we can get that up on in the inside the bathroom. I still can't do the outside until it's pressure tested. That's at least another job out of the way then. I have tempted fate, and I brought in one bag of the hardwall as well. What I may potentially do later, just to give myself a flying chance at doing something, I may have a go at some of these like wire chasings down here or just in other areas and just see if I can fill those in, get my eye in a little bit for doing some plastering. So we might give that a bit of a crack a little bit later on. Kathy, look, she does do work on the house. She is steamer in hand, though I don't think we will need it for this, because actually this is just sort of coming straight off in reality, but we're warming it up anyway. It's going to be first time with the steamer, and it's going to be, I'm going to get on with doing some plasterboarding bits. It's going to be first time Elizabeth time lapse. So let me go get the tripod for you, and then we'll watch you go woo 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 woo, and it will be done in about 2 minutes. Yeah? She's been busy. She's got that whole wall steam now. I've been downstairs and I've now chopped the piece of aqueous plasterboard, the moisture resistant, I've forgotten the proper name for it now, down to size as well, so we've lost a lot of the crummy edges and managed to get a good usable piece out of it. She's just letting the steamer cool down a bit. We're going to top it up with some water before she goes for the next run, so I'm going to use that opportunity while the stairs are clear to get this upstairs. I've got a small offcut of plaster to start marking up where the pipes are that are going to go in. So there's 2 pipes coming through, one for the hot and cold for the
the sink, and one power cable for the mirror. So I'm going to mark up roughly where those sit, where those are on the back of the panel, drill some holes for them, and then we should be good to then go and fit that panel to the wall. Around that corner.
You're good, you're around the corner. One of the little slippery. Okay.
Can you let me know when I'm clear of the...
Oh, yeah, I will. Keep going. Keep going. You're good now.
Thank you.
I got it.
It is in! I had a bit of a playing around with working out where the pipes were, because that's literally the first time I've ever had pipes going through plasterboard. I think lesson learned is just give myself a little bit more wiggle room with the hole. Cable was causing some issues because we drilled it there, it was folding, but we drilled a secondary hole and got that straightened up now. We're still having issues like we did when we did with the plywood, with the gap just around the top, because if you see there, it's kind of on the wonk, so we're going to have to really sort of fill that corner in when we get there. But we're pretty much there, it's in. You've laid your first piece of plasterboard, put your first piece of plasterboard screws in, but I'm pretty pleased with it. We've got some decent clearance off the ground. Yeah, just got to worry about that corner and filling in these chunky gaps, but I think we can fix all that with plaster. So obviously we've got to put a fairly big skim on the ceiling or chip this Artexy type stuff, non-asbestos Artex. We had it checked, if you remember, way back in like episode 20, 30, something like that. So yeah, job done. We've just been out to the shops to get the little one some new safety gears, because my gloves and glasses and stuff are a little bit big for us, so she's got her own stuff now. While we're out there, we also went and picked out the biggest tile samples for what we wanted to look at. So this is the Toronto one we were looking at. It's got like gold and like grey flecks with it, so it kind of blends with the silver stuff. The only thing we have with this one is you can't get it in a matte, and we don't particularly want gloss on the floor for it being slippy. Now this is from a place called Top Tiles, but across the road there was another place called, forgotten what it was, it's not less of a chain, and they have this one, which is kind of similar. It's the pattern's a bit less in your face, a little bit more subtle, but they do it in a matte, which is like, it just feels like a nicer finish, I guess. That's like really smooth and glossy, and you can see, look, my hand just glides over it when I'm slipping, whereas this has got a little bit more grip to it. So we picked up a sample of this one. That sample was £6.90, whatever it was, and we've got to return it. This one, because it was a smaller guy, I was like, yeah, just bring it back whenever, mate. It's not too much of a problem. So we're going to go put those in stitches in the bathroom. Now, it's not too windy at the moment, I don't think, so I think my next job is probably going to be jumping up on the ladders and having a quick look in the upstairs gutters and just see if there's any junk up there we need to get out to hopefully help with the overflow leaking issues we've got at the moment before the next bout of rain comes through. Elizabeth has got the kettle on down here, and she's going to go and finish off trying to get as much of the paper that she can reach up there off as well. So we're back onto the battle stations. Welcome to On the Ladder. So interestingly, there's a cable running down the gutter, and as suspected it is all full of moss and gunk and everything else. So there's a few slip tiles as well which we might need to have a look at. But one thing I haven't realised I haven't really got is a trowel or something small to actually get in this gutter and get rid of some of it. You can see where this pipe is separated out. It looks like they've got some form of lining in there as well. Either way, we're going to do some clearing out and try and get this a little bit more secure.
Well, that was lovely. I was up the ladder having a look down those gutters filming that clip, and one of the neighbours came out who I haven't met yet. Name's Andy. He's a fire officer by trade. Really nice guy. Came in, gave him a quick tour of the house. He was really impressed with the work that's gone on and the progress making. He says he's been doing his for like 5 years and he's still going. So yeah, that was meeting. Turns out he's also done a lot of plastering stuff by trade as well. So he was giving me a load of pointers, recommendations. Said he's got tools and stuff that if I want to borrow him, he can send me a load of clips. So we may take him up on that offer. And yeah, really pleased, nice to meet him.
We found the culprit of the worst of the leaks. So that was sitting like that across, well, partly into the downpipe. That was what was causing all the backup. But we've now removed all the moss and everything across the whole areas. Pushed some of the tiles that had slipped back into place. So there's a few still there. And that is everything. Sorry for the grimace of horrible stuff, but that is everything we removed from the gutter. So what I'm going to do now is just run a bucket of water up, just wash down any of the remaining bits and just check and see if there's any leaks, just so I know if there's any like actual fixtures and fittings and stuff I need to replace. But at least we know that is hopefully a little bit less leaky, but we'll soon find out.
Operation Clean the Gutter was a success. We ran the hose pipe up there, seemed to hold its water, run most of the way down towards the downpipe. Most of the water went down there. There's a little bit sitting in the gutter because it's not perfectly on the angle it needs to be, especially in this back corner, but the angle is enough to actually run the water off, so it shouldn't leak on any of the edges. So we've been praying for good weather. We now want to pray for some bad weather, which shouldn't be too far away, just so I can see if that's going to leak at all. But we are there. At some point, obviously, I want to actually clean the fascias and everything else because they are now green and covered in mould, but that's probably been blocked for quite a while in reality. So glad that job is done. So let's go check in with Elizabeth and see what she's been up to while I've been up a ladder, not been able to film anything because it was cold and windy.
Don't do that.
What do you mean? You've been busy?
Yeah, I got all the wallpaper off.
Got all the wallpaper off. Is that including the... Because when you were scraping this as well, you found more of that purple stuff, didn't you?
Yeah, I got all the purple stuff off.
All the purple stuff, yeah, it didn't come off so clean, did it?
No, that was awful. And then this,
Oh, that's okay then.
But look, this is all stuck under here because when they built the wall, it's not a clean cut. I don't know how to get all this off cleanly.
Well, we've got a couple of options here because if we're doing all oak trim,
Yeah.
we might want to put a strip of
Yeah.
oak across there and cut it out. But for the meantime, at least we can get the Stanley knife and just run it along that edge for the as a temporary thing.
Yeah. Also.
In reality, we might not even need to plaster that wall. We might want to give it a quick skim, but it's actually not that bad. So.
Yeah, but like sand it down so it's even.
Oh yeah, for sure. I've sand it down, but the paint will cover most of that. It's fine. Give it a new undercoat and then.
Yeah.
I don't think we even need to plaster this, to be honest. Might save
Yeah,
ourselves
but
some
the
time.
paint came off from all the steam.
Ah, it's okay. I think what you're seeing there, so this, I suspect, was the same stain as what was on the stairs.
Probably, yeah.
And they just slapped it on as much as they want, and then somebody just come along and painted it in the white to make it a bit more neat, and then eventually we'll probably take it out and replace it with an oak and black banister like the ones I was showing at the show the other day.
Yeah, probably.
But good work, well done!
We've just got back from food, and that was Elizabeth's first carvery. She's not really had a proper British go out and have a carvery. So we'll roll a clip now of the difference in plate sizes. Yeah, as you can see, I'm a giant, and to be fair, I don't think Elizabeth didn't realise it was like a medium option, so she probably need a little bit more food. But we've got some good options. We managed to get some gluten-free gravy for it, which is all good. And yeah, actually, as carveries go, carvery's like a good solid food. You know what I mean? Like you go out there, it's a 6 out of 10. You get a good bulk of food. It's not necessarily high quality, but it's good filling food, if that makes sense. But as carveries go, that one was actually really good. Nice atmosphere in the pub. So yeah, really good. We just got home. She's catching up on all her messages and everything, and then she's going to clean up the mess on the stairs. And then I'm going to just whip round now, and I'm going to just start whipping some of the interfaces off, because there's still like a lot of plug sockets and stuff like that, and light switches. Case in point, there's one sitting there just kind of floating around.
So I think it's a nice easy job just to be getting on with today or tonight. I'm just going to go around and get all those whipped off as well. What I'm also going to do is move the tiles upstairs and go see what they look like in a different light as well. Get another look at those, because ideally we want to try and make a decision on those at some point tomorrow. I may have to start sitting and working out how much we need to actually start ordering up in terms of how the tiles are going to be spaced and everything else like that. Looking at them from here again, I do like the pattern on the glossy one, but I am sort of leaning towards the matte one still, because we can put it on the floor as well. So we'll run those upstairs and have a look at them in a minute.
We're up here with the 2 tile options, and I thought I'd document our current method of testing, because at the moment we're both agreed that we prefer the matte on that one, but we prefer the pattern on that one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So the main reason that we didn't want the gloss, we wanted the matte over the gloss, is because of how it felt underfoot. So we are now doing some underfoot testing. This is the gloss one. Yeah, it's pretty sticky.
Yeah.
It's actually not bad with a sock on. That one, I guess it's a little bit stickier, I guess.
Yeah.
I wasn't slipping as much as you. But it feels okay. Now, and then excuse my manky toes that are about to come out, we're going to do some not glossed testing. I'm sticking like glue to that.
Yeah.
That's a little bit more slippy, but it feels like...
I like the feel of that one more than I do that one.
Yeah, they both feel fine. This feels as sticky, but like you say, that gloss one feels colder.
Just texture-wise, I prefer that one, but
Yeah.
I like that one more than that one. So basically, we're at square one.
Or a rectangle one, because they're both rectangular tiles. So it's looks or feel, which is a higher value to you.
Well, again, depends on whether we're doing the vinyl flooring or if we're using this tile as flooring.
If we use that as flooring, and we got underfloor heating, because that strip thing that Alex is looking at,
that would be.
but we'd have to switch that on to deal with that, and it's not always going to be on.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Or do we think that's enough of a pattern? Or do we try and find something more similar like that in matte? Because at the moment we have only gone to the 2-3 different shops. Do we try and find something like that in matte?
We can spend tomorrow looking for that or something similar to that in matte. If not, we're just going to say screw it and
Flip a coin.
flip a coin.
Cool. Tile choice probably going to come down to coin flip.
I just removed the light fixing from off the roof in here, and I came to a realisation. We were looking at potentially trying to tile the floors in this, but if you just look at how much dust I've just dropped on there, and the fact that Elizabeth's hair on it as well, you can see that's going to be really, really painful to try and keep clean, being a white surface, in terms of bits and dust and everything else going on there. So that's pretty much secured the deal that we won't be tiling the floor in that tile. We might potentially use like a wood effect tile, or we're going to use like LVT. So there's going to be a wood effect flooring here that's darker, so that it at least covers some of the bits and dust. Otherwise, you're just going to be forever sweeping in here trying to make it look clean. So glad we've had some. Well, it's been a useful sample. It's been a good spend of £6.92 temporarily on the sample until I return it, because it's helped us make that decision.
Well, I've been round for the last hour or so, just removing various staples and clips and cables and other bits and bobs. I decided I wasn't going to record any of it, because editing Ryan said to me from the future that that would be a terrible idea and it would take way too long to edit for the amount of time and the amount of footage I've got to catch back up on editing. So we didn't do that. What we did do though is Elizabeth did an Amazon shop earlier. She managed to find a staple gun, which is an Amazon choice one. Does the job. It's okay. Amazon basics. Sometimes it doesn't fire, but nifty staples. But got the job done. It's heavy duty enough, which is good. And she also bought some nice heavy duty Velcro. And I've used the old bed sheet to just construct a bit of a privacy door. And we've got a couple of strips of Velcro on here so that we can just fix that up, and it should hopefully stop some of the dust ingress into that room a little bit. So just gives it a little bit more privacy. Obviously not perfect. We'll need to do the same for the bathroom at some point. For the time being, that was a little bit easier to manage because neither of us are really morning people, more so Elizabeth more than I. So if we do have people coming around, at least she can stay in bed and we won't have to worry about people coming upstairs and looking at her
snoring her head off in the middle of the night. Early in the morning. But whereas the bathrooms obviously will be up around, we can control when we use that at the moment. So I will need to get a bit of a door on that at some point. But yeah, it's been a decent day of progress. I think it's been an introduction to Elizabeth to how long these things are taking as well, because it's like she's like got that feeling as well of these. I don't feel like I've done a lot, but I also feel like I've done a lot, but I don't feel like I've done a lot feeling. So, but she's made some mammoth progress. This wall's now completely stripped. Cleaned up all the mess as well, so we'll probably need to wipe downstairs at some point. But again, plumber's going to be here tomorrow. We're going to be up and down with bits, so it's thinking it's not urgent with cleaning that. I've constructed a bit of a door. We've then hung this piece of plasterboard in here. We got some sample tiles to have a look at now. We have consulted the council, and the council consists of Elizabeth's mother, who was the same as us, preferred the pattern on the glossy one, but liked the look of the other one more. We then consulted my sister, she preferred the left one as well. And then we consulted Jack, and he also preferred the left one as well, which is the matte style one. So I think we're pretty much set on the matte. So tomorrow what we'll do is we'll have a look around and just see if we can find a nicer, more goldy version of that matte one. But if not, then I think we've got at least a baseline of what we're going to work off now. So we'll probably make a decision on that tomorrow afternoon. What else have we been up to? We cleaned the gutters. They're all well. We cleaned the gutter on that side of the house. We've still got to do the one on the other side of the house, but that's not been so much of a problem child with leaking. But I will run the ladder up there when we get a good stretch of weather and have a look at that. And then I've got to do the one on the front of the house as well. But that'll be all the gutters cleaned as well. So decent day of progress. Plumber should be here tomorrow, and hoping to get a good whip through of progress then. Not entirely sure what I'm going to do tomorrow. I may make a start on that hard wall stuff, and maybe just plug up some of the gaps. I've still got some more cables and sockets and other things to move out of the way, but we're going to leave it there for the day. So thank you very much for watching. If you are enjoying them, please do consider subscribing, and we will catch you all in tomorrow's vlog.